Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I'm not seeing a bingo. P and W don't go great together. I can sort them out by playing power or powerer. Both leaves two vowels, which could be problematic. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. The E is helpful if you're going to keep two vowels. So wiper for, well, power's going to be better. IE better than OE. But 2 more points for wiper. Yeah, that's where I switched. 28. Okay, so the O not duplicated, but very vowel heavy, and that was the risk with retaining two vowels. However, I think I can play through this. I have Orloy as a 5-letter play and a Louis. Louis would leave AE. I'm not going to score well with this rack because they're all 1-pointers. Can I get value from the W? Don't think I can. How about the P? Well, Pilau. But that leaves 3 vowels and I'd much rather leave just the 2. Great, only 24 for opponent. Fag takes an S at the end. Fee takes nothing in front. So, Louis and Orloy, do they play? I don't think Louis does. What about Orloy? That does, making Ag. Wow, for a very low score. What does FE take? It takes an E after it and a U. Now Uoy is good. That plays here, which is the same tiles as Louis, but retaining the L. This isn't a bad rack lead. Score's dreadful. Let me just spell this correctly. Uoy, does that play anywhere else? ARO not good. No, I am going with this. Well, still not a bingo. However, I have scoring tiles in the B and the Y. Just looking at the floaters in case an 8 comes to mind, but it doesn't. I've got the UBL ending and the ABLY ending, but the rest of the rack is completely unpromising in terms of bingo prospects. FEY is good. So I've got AY in row I. That's still going to leave double A. Now, Abea is good, which would sort out, well, it would play off all of my A's. I'm not necessarily trying to do that. The A is a nice tile. So, 29 for opponent. Few only takes an S, so I've got, well, I was going to say nothing in row J, but it could stop after PA, where of course my Y can go. Abea doesn't play there. ITA is good. So what about just doing this? 32 points, which is decent. ITA only takes an S. I do have Abea in row E, but that's providing a lot of hotness. This isn't a terrible rack leave. It's just not a fantastic one, but I'm definitely not going to be in trouble next turn. Whatever I draw, I can score well with these 5 tiles. So I can stick a B in the front of this and BL. What about belay? Rack leave is worse, but I'm getting so many more points. 43 points. I am going with this. Wow, pretty good. This looks jolly close to a bingo. I'm not seeing a 7. and very few floaters on this board. So there is the B, biodata is good, but that doesn't fit, and I'm uncertain as to whether that takes an S. Some data words do, some don't. Column 5 is a double lane, just about, probably ending ITAS. Now, opponent plays Cam. Cam takes A, E, and I after it, and that's all it takes. Co takes nothing in front. Yoi takes nothing after it. So, no new floaters. I don't think biodata has an anagram. Wow, look at this ladder whisking its way up. Now, Wiper takes an S in front, so column 3 super hot. What can I do here? I don't have an E, so whatever I keep isn't going to be massively bingo-y. Just looking to see where I can get value. Nothing well, T goes in front of AI. Wow. Well, I was thinking about playing Toad, but how about playing Tau? Toad would have stopped one square short of column 15. Although I've got an S, there are 3 S's out there. There are 2 blanks. And Toad would score 4 more points, but D helps this rack leave. Possibly not by 4, but it definitely helps it. So this is the play with the better rack leave and less volatility. 17 points, pretty grim, but I don't have scoring tiles. I am going with this. Okay, well, still no 7. And there is this lane in column 3, disadorn onto an N. But wow, what a ladder. I haven't seen a ladder like this for a while. So, are we just going to continue? Quite possibly. I have radio on my rack. Tie takes nothing in front, so there could be a ladder extension. Tau only takes an S after it, but opponent might hesitate about playing in row C. It's getting jolly close to column 15. Pay only takes an S after it. Am I sure there's no bingo here? And are there any floaters I've overlooked? B, not a particularly useful floater. I don't think disboard is good. And it's not. Does it have an anagram? Now, onto an E, I would have roadside. Oh wow, this E is available. A bingo in column 3 doesn't have to end in S. It could be S something E. Alas, roadside doesn't fit that pattern. Does roadside have an anagram? Don't think it does. Now, what about this double lane in column 5? So there are doubles in that column. Gorditas is good, but ITA not a common ending. Okay, so great, only 18 for opponent. I'm immediately drawn to row D because I've previously scanned the board and not been drawn to anything, and I can score off the H, or indeed these triple letter squares. Do I have anything in column 8 ending Lear? No. The trouble with playing in row D is that I've only got an A for going above this L. That would force O into this spot. Dora, not good. So the best I can do there is soda. And I don't want to burn my S cheaply. Now, what about getting the D tripled twice? So I can play Dorad. There's only 56 tiles unseen, including both blanks. So playing off a lot of tiles increases my chances of drawing one. Now, I was wondering if there's anything better than this, and there is slightly, but you should take everything that you can, however slight. AS a better rack leave than IS. And look at this, only 3 A's to come. So, droid for 27. And I draw 3 N's. Wow, and still 3 N's to come. So, no N's to date on the board. And all 1-pointers. Gosh. Strange board. And we're very close in score. And that deadlock's likely to be broken with a bingo. So what am I going to do? It's a balanced rack, so I'm likely to find playing better than changing. But where to do that? High takes an A in front. I would like to play off 2 N's. N is a nice tile, but duplicate N's are not conducive to a bingo. Do I have anything down from the B? Now, Nini is good. Still a lot of E's to come. 47 points for opponent. Opponent gets their neck in front or their nose in front. So, what do I do here? I'm immediately drawn to Z-E-N. But I think the best I can do here is Nan. Well, Scene isn't a bad rack leave. Yeah, Sane would be better, but Scene isn't terrible. This isn't giving much away. Zen takes an S. I've got one. 20 points. Yeah, I am going with this. Wow, still more 1-pointers. HI takes an A, and I played that. I have ennui on my rack, but EINS would be a decent rack leave. That would require playing ENU, which doesn't make a 3-letter play. Extensions of Z are possibilities to hit the double word square, but I'm not seeing one with this rack. I certainly want to play off the U. So a play of Uni would do that. I want to split up the duplicate N, but it's going to be very hard to do that and not have a vowel-heavy bag. Still plenty of vowels to come. The double-double lane has been wiped out. Quite a lot of spots on this board are only available for S's. After Tau, after Pay. Yeah, well, that's about it, because we have a ladder. The swiper hook has been eliminated, and the floaters in Droid are no longer bingo floaters. Minor hotspot in row H. Not many tiles go in front of ABBA. C does, but there are no 2-letter words ending in C. That might be it, actually, so that might be a totally non-existent hotspot. This is a super tight board. Just 1 point between us. I'm waiting for the calm to be shattered by a bingo, and I'm not in a position to respond in kind. I would be in a position to reply in kind onto a G, because I would have unseeing and possibly genuines. Do I have anything down from this N? If I had my A, I could have played Nanua, but the best I've got in column 1 is 9s, which burns the S, retains the U. So I'm not a fan of that. I've got Inure in column 3. Interesting, keeping ENS, that's pretty handy. Score's rubbish, but I'm not optimistic about getting a decent score with a bunch of 1-pointers. What about sticking my S on the end of Zen? Aban not good, otherwise Unseen would have played. Opponent down to 12 minutes. So Inure is currently my play, and that gives very little away. Yeah, super tight ladder. I was just looking to see if there are any ways of disrupting it, but I don't think there are. Tai takes a few hooks, but there's very little scoring potential in row G, and a play in row G would provide access to a triple word square, so that's not hot at all. Opponent down to 11 minutes. So HI takes an A in front. It also takes a C and a G and a P. So a few possibilities there. So opponent got 47 points last time for Saz. That was a good score on this board for a non-bingo. Now opponent gets only 24 points, which is fine. What's less fine is that he takes out my Inure spot, and I had seen nothing else. Nothing goes in front of C, nothing goes in front of Phi, so opponent's created nothing. What to do? Now, what about playing in column 13 because of the cam hooks? A, E, I. Wow. What about doing this? UI for 18. Invites a high play in row B. Very useful flow to the E. Doesn't burn the N. But this is literally all I've seen. 11 minutes on my clock. I didn't pay much attention to the N in column 1. Am I sure I've got nothing other than 9s? It would be galling to play UI and then provide just the tile opponent needs to bingo. Do I have anything through R and R? Not seeing anything. What's the best I can do with my S? SUNN is good. 21, but keeping 3 vowels. What about doing this? Uns for 9. Let me count the remaining vowels. 19 out of 48. Slightly vowel dry. Uns has got a lot of merit because I am providing nothing for opponents, and the rack leave is not bad. It's 9 points less than UI. But UI had the duplicate N, which is the duplicate of any tile is worth about -5, so it's not such a big gap between these plays. Yeah, I am I? Yes, I am. I'm going with Uns. And I draw 2 vowels, which was the only really bad pickup I could have had. And again, all 1-pointers. When was the last time I had a scoring tile on my rack? I played UI, Tau, Uns, Nan, and Droid are only 2-point tiles. However, we are still neck and neck, so it's anybody's game. So I drew E and I, both tiles duplicating ones on my rack. Nay, nay is good, but that's a 6-setter play. Not seeing any bingo with this rack. So coming back again to column 13. Very little on offer there. Do I have an extension to Zen? No. I do have 9s. 18 points. Keeping 3 vowels, burning my S. That doesn't feel great. I've got EN and Wow, keeping 4 vowels, 1 consonant. That's not going to be my play. I'm just wondering if I should change because EINS is a pretty decent 4-letter set. Great, only 9 points for opponent, so we're both struggling. However, I now do have a spot for Eine. 14 points. This is better than changing. Very hot spot in column 11. And what did opponent do? Play off 1 tile. Interesting. 14 points. He has almost certainly got a bingo. But it's going to have to involve an S or an E or an S. Whereas if I play Eine, basically any bingo can play. So Eine just gifts opponent a bingo lane. Let me come back to EN. Oh no, I've already considered that. Horrible. Just looking in column 2, I am going to change. I'm going to change 2 E's and an I. So, duplicate N, the only fly in the ointment. No 7-letter bingo comes to mind. I would have nominees through an E. Do I have anything through an O? No. Yeah, nice bingo for opponent and provides no floaters. So I do have a scoring tile in the M, and I want to play off an N. How best to do that? Do I have anything down from the E? Not seeing anything. Just wondering about playing Mon, creating some action at the top of the board. Mon takes quite a few letters after it. But I do trail now by 100. I think I need to create hotspots in different parts of the board. So there are great bingo lanes either side of Steeled, and now column 15 is a good one, and Mam takes an I. I am going with this. Well, I don't have a 7-letter bingo here. I would have Sinecure through an R, but look at this board. There are no floaters. So, well, there might be some obscure floaters. N is a floater if it's followed by an S, but I'm not seeing one there. Yeah, okay, so, well, opponent's really just taken out that lane, only 28 points. I've got the ISH ending, but what do I want to do here? I'm minded to do this, uniced, a decent rack leave, creating a new lane, not a very easy lane for opponent to score off. And I need to create some action. Opponent's play of Hog has really reduced what's available in the top right. So in terms of good bingo lanes, it's really just either side of Steeled. So I definitely need to create a second spot, and uniced does that. Great, I draw the second blank. What to do? Do I really not have a bingo? I have Fuji top left, should the U remain available, and it may if opponent bingos elsewhere. So I'm looking to play off J and F if possible. I have Juice top right, which might score more than Fuji. I have Jeff A's in column 8, burning the S, But that might be worth doing since I've got the blank, and that would create a super hot row O lane. Great, just 24 points for opponent. So this is what I'm thinking of. Jeff A's, creating a floating E and S, both of which help me a lot. Opponent's Budo play has created a new lane in row B, albeit a low-scoring one. 45 points for Jeff A's is a lot. If opponent's likely to be drawn to the J and play in row K, leaving the E and S alone, surely I am bingoing next turn. Wow, am I or am I not? A lot of vowels. So I trail by 60 or 70. Do I have a bingo here? And the S duplicates one on my rack, but I feel I have got one. Or do I metacase through an M or a T? The floaters duplicate tiles I've got. 6 minutes on my clock, 14 tiles left. And of course row A ending in H, but I'm really only looking at ISH endings. And I don't think I have one. So I'm going to look for 7s for row B. Oh wow, great bingo by opponent, 66 points. But do I have a bingo with an S? Let me have a quick squiz through the alphabet and see if anything comes to mind. Not seen anything so far. This rack plus an E or an S. Duplicate J not helpful. Could end IES. So layer sizes and the C gets tripled. Doubled then tripled. I think that's the play. I'm short on time. I have a bingo. Finally. So layer sizes for 86. And, well, I trail by 50. I could have done with a decent rack, but the bag is now empty. And opponent's got a pretty handy rack. I've got a pretty ropey one, so this game is over. No massive Q spots on the board, but opponent should be able to engineer an out into... Wow, 61 points for opponent. And he's left himself with Gren and Reng. He's got Reng in row A. And does he have a second out? So Reng in row A. Genre and Gern don't play. So he may not have a second out. Or he may. Well, it's not going to alter the outcome of the game. He's ahead by over 100. So let me see if I can play my Q somewhere. Well, I have a QI spot down here. 28 points. Is there anything better? Nope, not that I can see. I am going with this. And opponent's 6 minutes on his clock to find Reng or something better. I have Trivet through an E, but I'm not expecting to have another turn. But supposing I do. Ah, well, opponent plays Reg, not Reng. I do have another turn. I don't have an out. Opponent's got an N, he's got NA, he's got Nu, so he is definitely going out. Can I offload my V somewhere? 4 minutes on my clock. Rev is good. Via is good. Wow, such a tight board. Tate is good, but I think it's the V that I need to play. Nothing in row C. Just looking for any other spots where my V could play. Not seeing anything better than Via for 12. So opponent's got new, opponent's got N. Surely he is going out now. Six minutes on opponent's clock, 3 on mine. So we've both made good use of our time. J, I was expecting a play involving that, but neither of us have used it. Yeah. And the final score, 366 for me, 454 for opponent, a winning margin of 88 points. So well done to opponent. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what did I miss? That felt a pretty brutal game. Now, it was me to go first, and I played Wiper, and I like that. Opponent plays Fag. And what do? I play Uoi for 12, I6, AUE available for 18. Yeah, I think that would have been, well, it would have kept one more vowel, so I don't think there's much between those plays. Opponent plays Tor, and I have Belay for 43, which I like. Opponent plays Cam. Phew, I thought there might be a missed bingo here, and there isn't. K1, ADAS and ADOS for 29. I play Tau for 17, preserving the S, and the S is worth 8 to 10, so you can see those moves are similar. Opponent plays Hell, and Dorad and Droid. Those were the plays I was considering, and I preferred Droid, because AS, I think, is a better Ratley than IS, but there won't be much between them. But certainly there are more I's to come than A's, and duplicate I's harder to deal with than duplicate A's, so I like my play. Great rack for opponents. Wow, missed bingo, I think. Yep, opponent plays Saz for 47. Could have got 107. D1, Sprees, Ahi, Z and L. Wow. And although opponent's hanging on to the blank, he has forsaken over 60 points or 60 points in score, so the bingo would have been better. Now, here we go, and I have a ton, having just played Belay or just played Droid, I have quite a few racks of only 1-pointers. So I play Nan, D4, Nain playable for 20. I play Nan for 20. Yeah, I don't think there's much between those. Opponent plays Crop, A8, could have played Pre-Clear. Very difficult front extension to Lear, but it was there. Now my rack, and I play Uns for 9. B2 in seed. Yeah, for 18, 9 more points, keeping the U. I think those moves are close. Now opponent's rack, and was very close to a bingo. Opponent has delayed, but it was the tightness of the board which meant none were playable. So opponent plays off just the Y. Yeah, retaining a fantastic 6-letter set. And here we go. I thought about Ina, but that would have just gifted opponent an easy scoring spot for a bingo that which may not otherwise be playable. G7, Fagin, keeping 4 vowels. I don't like that, so I change. Opponent bingos, and now suddenly I trail by 100. No bingo for me, although the rack does look pretty handy. And I play Mon for 21. Noisome burns the S, which is worth 8 to 10, so from a score and rack lead perspective, those moves are similar. C13, yeah, oh, Noisome and Kamai. I still prefer my play because the rack lever is good and I'm creating a lane, and I trail, so I don't want to turn over tons of tiles. Opponent plays Hog, and I still felt I was in with a shot. I only trailed by 110, and there are bingo lanes on the board. So I play uniced to generate some action in the top left. D7 because of clear. Interesting, that's a nice play, EQ, because it is creating a 7-letter lane and it's not creating a spot where opponent can score well with a non-bingo. So I think EQ would have been a better play. Opponent plays Budo, and I'm pronouncing it Jeffes. I'm sure it's a Spanish word and should be pronounced Jefes or something like that. But anyway, 45 points. Looks fine, and I'm back to within just 60 of opponent. However, that hope was soon crushed with a fantastic bingo by opponent of Erosive. I am able to come back with layer sizes and a few other bingos available, but the bag is now empty and I trail by 50, so it's game over. Great score for opponent with the X of 60 points. I'm stuck with the Q and can only manage 28. And then opponent does have an out with Gren. Interesting. Reng can't be good, and I thought it was. But G11, oh wow, Gren and Taig, that is super hard to see. So mustn't think too poorly of opponent for not going out on that play. I get one more shot, and I play Via for 12, and opponent goes out with Annie's. So what a game. No missed bingos, no howling blunders, a few plays where I think there were better plays available, like EQ rather than uniced, but really just the way that the tiles fell, and a good victory for opponent. So many congratulations to opponent on his victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.